Hello everyone. So in this video we are told that this incomplete quadratic trinomial x squared plus ax minus b is a factor of this cubic x cubed minus 2bx squared plus ax minus 6. And we are asked to show that a is equal to negative 2b minus 6 over b. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide in this quadratic into this cubic. Knowing that it is a factor, I know that whatever I get as my remainder, that must be equal to 0. So I will be able to set up an equation then, and hopefully I will be able to show that a is equal to minus 2b minus 6 over b. All right, so let's go about it in the normal way. What do we start with by looking at our first term? How many times is x squared going to x cubed? Well, the answer, of course, is x. So I have here x. X times x squared, that's x cubed. X times ax is positive ax squared. And then x times negative b is negative bx. And, as I always do, I'm now going to subtract. All I get here is 0. Minus 2bx squared minus ax squared. So I'll write that as minus 2bx squared. Subtract ax squared. That's those two terms. I will combine those in a moment. And then I have ax minus negative bx. So I have positive ax, subtract negative bx, so that's a double negative, so that's plus bx. Before I bring down my next term, I'm just going to combine these. What I will do is I will factor out the x squared out of this term and this term. And in fact, yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll factor out x squared. So I'll have negative 2b minus a x squared, and out of these two terms I'll factor out the x, and so I'll have a, that's plus a plus b x right there. Okay, and we now continue. Actually, the next thing we need to do is bring down my next term, so that is here like a 6, and I go again, what do I multiply x squared by to get minus 2b minus a squared? Well, of course, it must be minus 2b minus a. So I'll put that up here. Negative 2b minus a. So minus 2b minus a times x squared is negative 2b minus ax squared. X squared. That's going to get a little bit tricky here with the algebra, but minus 2b minus a times ax. So I'll just write that out as plus a on minus 2b minus a x. That's what it is. I'm going to have to distribute that a ultimately in here, just a moment. And then, but finally, I have minus 2b minus a times negative b. So I have minus b times minus 2b minus a. So it's a lot going on there. So I'm going to have to just be more careful with my algebra. I know that I need to subtract this line from this line. Probably before I do that, I should perhaps distribute my a. Don't necessarily have to, but maybe that's one way to go about this. So I already, this line here is fine. That's minus 2b minus ax squared. If I distribute my a here into minus 2b minus a, I will get plus minus 2ab minus a squared x. And if I distribute my b in here, I will get minus 2b squared plus ab. Oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. That should be plus. I apologize. That's minus b on minus 2b becomes plus 2b squared. And minus b times minus a, that's plus ab. Sorry about that. And what I can do now is I can go from here. What I will actually do, I will look at this term. I will factor out the negative to the front here. I will factor out, so I have a minus 2ab minus a squared. So I'll factor both of these are negative, so I'll factor this negative out to the front. So let me just do that. Just tidying up again. And in fact, I will also do the same thing here. we'll factor out this negative to the front. So that is minus on 2b plus a, factoring out that negative sign, x squared, minus 2ab plus a squared. So I've factored out the negative there, it's on x. And this I will leave this alone. This is 2b squared plus ab. Now you just have to be careful, right? We are subtracting this line here from this line here. Okay, so just to tidy it up, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to erase these two lines just so that I can see it more clearly. Because these three lines are the same, it's just I've factored, etc., and I've gathered up my like terms. So, but just so that I can see it more clearly, I'm just going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this because I already have it here. And I am now subtracting this line, like I say, from this line. Okay, so I have negative 2b minus ax squared. So that is negative 2b minus a x squared minus negative 2b plus ax squared. So I have a double negative that gives me a positive minus that. So that is plus 2b plus a x squared. Here I have a plus bx, so I have plus a plus bx, and I'm subtracting minus 2ab plus a squared. So again, minus times a minus, that gives me a plus 2ab plus a squared times x. And then finally, I have minus 6 minus 2b squared minus ab. So that is negative 6 minus 2b squared and then minus ab. Okay, and if I think I've got all my terms. And now I can sort of tidy up a little bit. Oh, I noticed that I dropped an x squared right there. As you can see, it's minus 2b minus a x squared. So x squared is the term I should have there. Okay, so I will again factor out perhaps. So I have minus 2b minus a. So maybe I'll factor out this minus to the front. And I have negative 2b plus a, factoring out that minus, x squared plus 2b plus a x squared. I have a plus b x plus, so I have plus, I can combine these terms. So what I will do is I will factor out of this term and this term, I will factor out my x. I'll bring it here to the end. And so I've got a plus bx, so that's just a plus b. And then I have plus 2ab plus a squared plus 2ab plus a squared x. So it's a plus bx plus 2ab a squared x. Well, I can bring those together, factor out the x. And then finally I have minus 6 minus 2b squared minus ab. And if I look, I notice that here at the front I've got negative 2b plus ax squared plus 2ba x squared. So this term will cancel with this term. So these two terms cancel. That's nice. So this term here cancels with this one. And I'm left with, if I gather up all my like terms, I have my final line then is, well, this is a squared plus 2ab, I'll just rewrite it in this order, plus a plus b x, and then minus 6 minus 2b squared minus ab, and that's it. That is my remainder. We know that because, again, that x squared was a factor of that cubic, that this here must be equal to 0, and this here must be equal to 0. That's all of this here must be equal to 0. And so I can set up two equations in a and b. I know that a squared plus 2ab plus a plus b, that must be equal to 0. That's 1. And over here I have minus 6 minus 2b squared minus ab. This must also be equal to 0. So you're able to form those two equations. Just to remind myself of what I want to show. I want to show that a is equal to negative 2b minus 6 over b. Right here. In order to do that, I think if I just look at this second one, if I just look at this second equation, I can hopefully rearrange this in a way that will allow me to show that. So what I'll do is I will add AB to both sides, or I'll bring it over, and so I will get AB is equal to negative 2b squared minus 6, adding AB to both sides, and therefore A, dividing both sides by B, will be negative 2b squared all over B minus 6 all over B. And what will happen is I can now cancel this B with one of these B's. And so I have, as my final line, A equals negative 2B minus 6 over B. And that is it, proved. That is that problem done. Just remind myself that I have got it right. Yes, negative 2B minus 6 over B. That is it. That is what you've now proved what they asked you to prove.